Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Emily Poulin, and joining us today is Digitals by Jannah, all the way from the UK. And today we're going to be making all things around music posters, designed by some current inspiration. So, Jannah, do you want to show us a little bit of what we're working on, as well as some of your work?
Yeah, so recently I came up with this idea to do kind of like a songs I visualize series. And I've had this idea for so long, but I feel like probably a lot of creators can relate to this. But when you hear music, I feel like you can visualize it. Probably everyone does, but I always have like a specific thing in mind. So I thought maybe it'd be fun to start kind of actually creating something. So I created this one back in May now, and I literally love Pink Pantheress. I saw her last weekend, just like my third time seeing her in a row. So yeah, I just thought I'd make this poster and everyone actually really loved it. So that was really good. And then I thought I'd turn it into a series, and kind of like my running thing at the moment is kind of like this central circle piece where like that's the pinnacle of the design, and then I build around it. So I also did one for Zara Larsson. And again, yeah, it just has that thing in the middle, which I build around. And yeah, I've just been having a lot of fun with it. And I've had a lot of questions about how I do it because when I make my reels, they're really like fast paced and quick tutorials. So I thought it'd be great to focus on that today and take everyone through exactly what I do. And one of my main questions is like where I get all my imagery from. So I'm going to put you guys onto Adobe Live, sorry, Adobe Express stock. If you haven't gotten it already, you're seriously missing out. It's actually saved my life. So yeah, I thought I'd take you guys all through that, and then we'll jump to like Photoshop, and I'll show you how like put everything together.
Oh, I'm so excited. I know I was laughing. I was like, oh, I am one of the comments on these. I'm such a fan of all this artwork, so I'm excited to see behind the curtain a bit as we get into it.
Thank you. Yeah. So if we jump into Express, so like I said, if you're not using Express for your stock, then I don't know what you're doing. You're probably taking so much of your time spent like just scrolling on stock websites trying to find the perfect, graphic. But obviously on Express, you have media, elements, charts, and grids. Like you have so much in here. So it's always like my go-to when I'm creating anything because I can usually 9 times out of 10 find everything that I need. So we're gonna create the Pink Panthers one today. So starting with the background, I really just wanted like a normal sky background. So I'll just type it in, and then my one thing, I've said this on literally every stream I've done with you guys, but I'm very much a perfectionist. So the only thing that holds me back in making this quick is that I just want to find the perfect element. But then Express does make that easy, so it's not like too long. But I like to take my time like going through things.
I feel like Express is so great for that, but I'll find myself getting stuck. So I'm like, what if I scroll one more time? What else am I gonna find
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Express? There's just so much in there. So I hear you. A good problem to have, but you got to limit yourself.
Yeah, see, like now I'm like, I keep going down. But let's just say this one, for example.
Love.
Um, I'll just scale it up and then have a look at kind of the vibe. And then I've already done this, so I won't do it now, but like I'll export everything and then put it into my libraries because it's just a lot easier when you have everything in
Mm.
one place rather than jumping back and forth. So, like I said, when I'm visualizing this series, I've already got something in my mind from the song, so I kind of know what elements I want to put in. So, for example, I'll export this one and take it into Photoshop. And then one of the other things that I love is when I was thinking about this series and having that central piece, the kind of circle thing kept calling to me. And then I kept thinking, like, but realistically, am I going to be able to find those assets? And actually, it was really easy with Express. So, literally, the first place I looked, and all of these really cool globes came up.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of was just going through a lot of them, and I just knew I wanted to build around it. Like even with my Zara Larsson one, let's see if I can find it now. I had a really specific vibe in mind because the whole like midnight sun kind of theming. It's got like the grass and the dolphins, and I thought, what if I could have like a circle but it's grass? But then I was like, is it gonna have that? So I did come into Express and I did actually find it like literally straight away.
Wait,
So
what?
which seems a bit like, I don't know if maybe I'm acting like my ideas are unique and they're just not, but I was really surprised that I was able
Or
to find
Express just,
exactly what I wanted.
yeah, let's just say that Express can like, read your deepest design needs and it
That's
just
what it was.
anticipated
Yeah.
what you needed.
Yeah, I am unique. It just, it
Yeah,
just knows me so
exactly.
well.
Wait, that's crazy. It's so fun.
It just seems like it just felt like a random idea, like a grass 3D ball.
Yeah,
and then the easiest search brought it up. So now I feel like really excited to continue the series because now I know even if I have something super random on my mind, it will actually come up.
that's too fun. Oh, there's even one with like flowers on it.
Yeah, there's like a bunch, which
Cute.
yeah, so if you guys wanted to like tap into kind of that circle motif in your designs, then you can find quite a lot in Express. Like if you just like I just wrote grass circle, you could probably do like water circle and something
Yeah,
crazy like that. So
let's try it.
yeah,
I want to see.
if you see something comes up now, watch it's
See,
gonna be
I'm
bad.
already
Being too
good.
ambitious.
Yeah. You
Water
know, is
circle.
it the
See, look,
yeah,
there's
okay,
little
great.
like droplets. Maybe, I don't know if you guys have song requests, then if anything kind of links to that, I can use this. But that's what I'm saying. You can find anything in here. So just have a good look and like even a basic search will bring you up the things that you want. Um, so yeah, for this poster, if you guys are like into Pink Panthers like I am, she came out with a music video and it's very much London, British like core, which I love. I feel like not a lot of people are doing that and obviously being British, it's just nice to see. So a lot of the elements that I've pulled from Express are just like telephone boxes. So we just search that up.
You said you saw her 3 times in the
Yeah,
past.
it's 3 years. So every single year I've
Wow. Wait,
seen
that's
that.
fun. Your
Yeah, and like
annual show.
that I literally say that and I go with my best friend. Like we only go together.
Aw.
So we're like, this is just for us. So it's like, and she lives in London, I live in Manchester. So we're like so apart now. We literally grew up together. So now it's like now we can reunite every year over like our common interests. So it's just the best. And like if anyone knows like Pink Panthers or follows her, like she's very much like she had her handbag on stage, like she was very to herself. And
Aw.
now like we've gone this year and she's had like the biggest productions. Now we're like, we've really been through it with her.
We were there when it started. Yeah, at the ground
Yeah.
floor.
So before we jump into Photoshop, just one little thing in Express. One thing I really love is when you're looking through like all of these elements, you've got so many different perspectives. And when I was thinking of the Pink Pantheress one, I was thinking like I really want it to be dynamic and not kind of just everything face on. So when I searched up the telephone box, there's like face on ones, there's one to the side. So when I was putting a bunch of different elements, then it was like really cool to kind of be able to choose different angles
Right.
and things like that. So, like I said, it's just a great place for finding basically everything that you want. So, if you're not using Express, then I don't know what you're doing, to be honest.
Your life is probably a lot harder, is what we're hearing.
Mine definitely was before. So,
I think it's
yeah,
kind of fun in the creative process. I think you always have these moments where you're like, oh, what if it was this? And you're like, ah, like how am I gonna get there? And sometimes that can be the end of an idea, right? Where you're like, oh, it seems too
exactly.
complicated. The grass circle, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. So to be able to have an element that's like ready to keep you pushing forward is just such a,
Mhm.
a boost in your creative process.
Exactly. Like, I feel like I have so many ideas and I find it hard to execute them because there's so many, but also there's also a roadblock where I can't find the exact thing I'm looking for, and now I just don't really have that issue, so I can just explore a lot of things creatively. So it's just great for that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I put everything into my libraries because it just makes things like easier. So I've got my sky background, and I'm gonna just go into the blur. I'm just gonna give it like a little bit of blur because I kind of want to have that kind of I don't even know the word to describe it. Realistic, but kind of a bit pop arty, if you will. And just combining like all of those like London British elements in like a fun, unique way. So I feel like just little touches where it's really simple. Like someone probably wouldn't notice I've blurred the background a little bit, but I know I have, and I feel like it just adds that little touch to it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. It can move it into, less literal and more artistic feeling, even just with that slight blur, I feel like.
Definitely, yeah. So we've got our globe in here. What I've been enjoying lately, because my core thing within my business is brand design. So I'm very much doing a lot of like brand identities, um, and like marketing and things like that, social media. And the main reason I wanted to do this series is because I just felt like I had so many ideas that I wasn't exploring because I didn't really have the time to, or I was doing a lot of the same projects, like branding wise. So I've kind of been trying to just do a bit of everything when I do these posters. And one thing I've been loving doing is like really pushing the saturation on things because usually I wouldn't do that like in a brand like identity. Just little things like that help everything come together where it feels like a little bit more bold and intentional. And then I'm gonna just, I don't know, Emily, if you have like a preference, because I'm not sure. I have two images here that we could use for
Okay.
the person on the globe. So I have this one, and I'm
Okay.
thinking, well, if we remove the background, which obviously Photoshop does a beautiful job of, she could sit something like that, and then we could build the
Fun.
elements around, or we could use, let me hide that one quickly, or we could use this one where it's more like sitting on the globe, which is what I had before. So now I'm like kind of stuck in between the two. But I don't know. What do you think?
That's a hard call. Chat, if you have any preferences here, let us know. I like the posture of the second one. It feels very like relaxed and just like, yeah, this is the globe.
Oh,
Where the
yeah,
other one I
top
also,
of the
but I
world.
like the, I don't know, I like the poise of the first one, looking at the camera. It's very, I don't know, I could go either
Yeah, I
way.
had the same problem,
I'm
so I
not
was
being
like,
helpful.
I was like, I'm just gonna ask someone else.
Well, I'd say mm, I like the polka dots, I think, of the first one. So I'm gonna go with the
Yeah,
first one for now. And
we'll
if
do
we
that.
want to change it out, I'm sure we could do that too.
Okay, let's do that then. Let me just move everything to the right file. Shrink that back down. But yeah, it's like little things like that where like I overthink it and then I'm like, oh, like I
Yeah.
don't know what image to use and like I'm just making this so much longer than it needs to be. But it all works out. So if we use this one, I feel like we could even like if we go in with the colors, we can maybe tweak that pink because I'm going for like that red and blue kind of vibe. So
Yeah.
maybe if we tweak it slightly, it'll pick up,
What are your
see like
feelings on
little.
this color selection bar? It's a newer feature, and I feel like it's been interesting for me to try and understand the best way to use it. What are your thoughts on it?
I love it. When it first came out, I did a reel about it and I had just done a shoot like on my own and I needed to edit everything and I wasn't like too savvy with editing like actual photographs. And this made it so easy and now I'm like addicted to it and like we're seeing like how it's just picking up just that pink shade
Right. Yeah.
and pink tones. And it's just like instead of now me having to like mask it and then like changing the saturation, I can literally just click one button. So yeah, I really like it.
All right. The reviews are in. It's a big thumbs up.
Yeah. Are we thinking blue or like more of the pinky red? No, I'm not sure either.
Hmm. Well, it would if we kept it blue, it would make I feel like the telephone booth pop more, right, with the red.
Yeah, that's true.
But also something we could easily come back to.
Let's leave it like that for now and then, like you said, we can come back. So my main thing that I like to do at the beginning, when I first got my composition is kind of just add in those like the shading and things like that. And I know you can use the harmonize tool, but I like to kind of just, challenge myself and see how well I can do the shadows and make it look realistic. But then also with the style, like I kind of like how it feels a little bit distorted. So I'll try just kind of see what comes from it. So I'm just using the brush tool to slightly, let's pull that down a little bit. Um,
Creating shadows is always one of the tricks of the trade. I feel like everyone does it a little bit differently.
yeah, like I see people, like I'll watch these streams and see people doing something completely different. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I have been doing it. I have been like, doing everything the long way around. And that's something that I've been talking about in my streams. Like, I don't know, I'm just very much like I love learning my own ways and then
Yeah.
I'll stick with it. And then I'll see someone else doing it way quicker and I'm like, that does make sense, but am I gonna change?
No.
Probably not.
I feel like, yeah, with method, I'm kind of the same way. With tools, if there is a new tool, like, you know what, yeah, I'm going to remove background this way, it's way faster. I feel like I'm more, yeah, I'll more quickly adapt a new tool, but a new method, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna keep with my own.
So I feel like that looks okay, and we can like come back to it, but I'll do that on like a separate layer in case like it starts to look weird or anything like that. So let's go into our libraries and let's start with, I feel like the houses could be a good point. So I've literally got like a whole image here and I'm like pulling inspiration from the video where there was a lot of like buildings at the background like moving and I really
Cool.
wanted to kind of have the same style but find like my own version of the house. So I've got this, and that's one thing about creativity that I love. It's like people probably wouldn't even have realized that I pulled from this image and like turned it into my own thing. But sometimes it's finding those full compositions and then just building from there. But I'm just going to cut in the middle of here. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. That's what I've been telling myself. So now I'm going to tell you guys that. Mainly so if this looks bad, it's okay.
It wasn't the assignment. The assignment was just cut it out, so we won't get too granular.
Yeah.
I do want to
So
say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you're good. So yeah, I'm just gonna shrink this down. And then like I said, I really want the colors to be super bright and punchy. So I'm just gonna get the saturation tool up and literally just whack it up. But like ordinarily maybe that would look a bit crazy if I did it in like a brand identity. But with this, it's like I'm just trying to have fun with it and kind of just seeing where it goes. So I'm just gonna make it pretty red and then play around with the levels a little bit. And then when you do like small touches like this, like it's nothing crazy, but it just makes it your own. Like someone else could use the image, but at least you've like done something different with it.
I almost wonder if you could use generative fill in that corner to like take out, I don't know, is it like a dock or like some sort of a walkway? I wonder what generative fill would do. It may be getting
See.
too precious. I know you have a lot to get done, so you can ignore me.
I'll shrink it down for now, and then if we have time, we can go back to it and kind of see
Just something,
what it
yeah.
kind of should do.
It is going to be hidden behind, yeah, the subject in the world,
Yeah.
so
Let's see if
maybe
I
it
can,
doesn't matter.
if I merge these two, then when that goes underneath, there you go, that will stay red. And then I'm going to put it behind the globe as well. Kind of just have it like that, like poking out from behind, and then we can paste that and flip it and then just drag it to the other side. So it's kind of just given us our like base background. I find it's easier when I do this and then I can like build from it rather than like kind of just placing everything randomly. Like when I have that core composition, it just makes things a bit easier in my head to like then know how to build out around it.
Yeah, definitely. A framework effect.
So yeah, I like how that looks. And then let's pull up the phone box next. Let me just drag that to the top. So like the same thing. It's like it's these really simple things that I'm doing. Like it's nothing really complicated, but it's just having fun with those like colors and brightness and just seeing how far you can push things. I've actually just realized I've been working with my laptop so dim because I was working on the train before this, and now I've just pulled up and like everything is so bright.
Turns out the saturation is fully up.
Yeah, and I'm like everything's super red. Like when I'm on the train, like I'm so conscious of like designing around other people. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I've had so many people just be like, "Oh, like what is that? Like you're doing?" And then I'm like, "Oh, like this graphic design." They're like,
Like,
"Oh,
what
like
is that?
yeah." Then I'm like, "Right, now I'm gonna pause working for like an hour."
That's so real. Or you're like, please don't watch me not be able to select this one piece of text that I'm trying to work on here.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm always
now it
so
looks like I don't know what
self-conscious.
I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, actually, it's my first day trying out graphic design.
I'm a newbie. The now with this composition, it's a little bit different because my subject focus is different. But I'm wondering where's best to put this. Like I want you to be able to see it
Mm,
without it overpowering. So if we put it there, then maybe if I nudge this
I
a
like
little bit
it.
over, that could look good. And then I'll move this a little bit.
This is amazing. This is so, and you're, not even 20 minutes in. This is incredible.
Yeah, I hope you guys do like it. Imagine. Everyone's
I
like,
will
this is
say,
it.
we do have a few friends in chat. We have Apurva, Jack, and Hey OK. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us. If you have questions, comments, want to just say hi, we would love for you to drop us a line. So, hello to
Yes.
you. Thank you for watching.
And if any of you guys have any like song recommendations, because I'm not sure what song to do next,
Okay.
as part of these series. So I've literally hit part two and now I'm like, what do I do? I feel like it's just a case of me having so many ideas and I'm like, I don't know what to pick next. So if anyone
That's
has
fair.
ideas, then would love to hear that. So yeah, I'm just going back in with the brush. So I usually keep it pretty consistent with the setting that it's on. Maybe like I'll drop the opacity a little bit, but in terms of like softness, I like to keep that consistent because then at the end, when you're looking at it as a whole piece, they've all got that same treatment. So whenever I'm like bringing in a new element, I just like to go in over it and add any shadows. And that kind of just helps lift everything as well. One thing I love about doing these streams is I can't be too much of a perfectionist. Like usually I'd really be focusing in,
Yeah.
but on here I'm like, I'm just trying to get through it and make sure you guys get everything. And usually it does turn out fine. So it's a learning lesson for me as well that not everything has to be super precise and perfect because I guess in a cheesy way it's like perfect no matter how it turns out.
I like that. Yeah. It's more about the process and
Exactly, yeah.
yeah.
And then I've got this little hydrant. Again, I've taken
Cute.
inspo from the video. Like they had a bunch of hydrants on the side, which
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like this is just so British, like a red hydrant, like the
A
same
fire
as the
hydrant.
telephone box. Yeah.
That's true. I guess a lot of them in the States are yellow, I
Oh,
think.
really?
Well, it can vary by state. Chat, what
Right.
color is the
Okay.
fire hydrant where you live? Because I've seen some that are like silver, like spray paint. They almost like spray paint silver or blue even. So near us, they're yellow. I'll say that.
Yeah, I feel like in the UK I've only ever seen
Feels
red
right.
ones. But now I'm like looking at this, I'm like our telephone boxes, our buses, like maybe I'm just thinking about London, but everything feels very like red. Like Royal Mail, like our postal service
Yeah.
is red. Like everything's just red for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like the UK does have like a primary color and it may be red. I feel like even like
Yeah.
uniforms when I think of like the National Guard, I'm not sure even what the correct name
Yeah,
is.
they wear red. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying,
right?
everyone. But then it's like, say with the telephone box here, it's got the little crown on top. That's like the royal symbol. So it's
Okay.
like with the Royal Mail, that's the postal service, but it's like linked to His Majesty. So I guess that's
Ah.
why everything's red. The branding, it's all their branding's just red and it's all linked. There you go. There's the answer, guys.
Today we're
Crack.
going to talk about the national branding.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, strong branding. If you're like, it's red, it must be from London. I mean,
That's what I'm
that's
saying. Like
it's
they've
great.
they've nailed it. So
Yeah,
give them
they're
that.
taking notes.
I've just right there you go. So yeah, now I'm just figuring out where to place this. I feel like when it's the kind of smaller elements, it's cool to kind of have them sitting on top where with the houses, they're like behind. But when you can see like the bottom of things, I think that helps give that illusion that things are coming out of the globe as well.
Yeah, it's one of those like finer details. I feel like, right? Like, oh, let me just do this small shadow or whatever. But it really, yeah,
Yeah.
makes the illusion. I get it.
And then like I'll usually just go back in and tweak how things are placed depending on like where I add new things.
Is it the Insta 360? What's the camera that like makes this kind of view? I think it's so fun. Every time I see it, I don't know why, it just really gets me. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like looks like everyone's
The
walking on a tiny world.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's like it's literally like a globe circle, like the
Yeah.
framing of the
And then they're just
circle.
like
Yeah,
walking along. I think it's
I
so
would love
fun
to
every
do one of
time.
those.
Well, now you can make your own Photoshop, you know?
There you go. And then again, just little things like the shadows. And then yeah, it just helps it like kind of pop. And then we'll go back into libraries. Can't miss out the bus stop, classic bus stop sign again,
Happens to
red.
be red.
Just happens to be red. It's just like an ongoing theme here. But I do quite like it because at the end it's like we've got a strong palette, but there's like a lot going on. And even though it's like quite busy, everything feels like nice and unified because it has
Mm.
that shared color palette.
I like the variation of shape on this one, that the pole is so tiny. I think it's going to bring it out in an interesting way.
Yeah.
If you show
Yeah,
it, you know.
when and I was gonna say when I was like first making this, I was like thinking how everything was gonna work together. Like I have houses, I have like a telephone box, and then I have like a random bus stop sign. But then it was really nice, like the variety. Not everything was like to the same, or I feel like if everything was the same level, it just wouldn't have the same look. So
Right.
yeah, and I really want to animate it actually. At some point, I'm gonna try do that and just see how like moving the houses and the telephone box, even if it's just like up and down, I feel like that could bring everything together.
Yeah.
And then I can sign off like my, goal, my lifelong goal of like trying animation at last.
There you go. Where are you going to attempt this animation? In Photoshop or Express or After Effects?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
You got options.
Maybe After Effects. I don't know. I feel like that's what I learned in uni, so my
Okay.
mind's jumping to that. But I don't know if anyone in the chat has like a go-to, or they can kind of see the vision I'm going for and what software would be best for that. Um, but yeah, maybe After Effects. That's where my mind's going to straight away.
You could try Express because you can open layered Photoshop files in Express. So I even wonder if that would be like the fast version. But I
Yeah.
have never dabbled in After Effects, so that's why I'm not my first solution.
Yeah, but then I guess like we're saying with the stock and things like that, Express just makes everything easier. So, and I feel like that's kind of like more beginner friendly. So
Totally.
maybe I would be able to do it a lot easier in there. And I just kind of want that like that simple motion of going up and down.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of the features in Express are like more looping or more kind of like intro outro. There's
yeah.
no like, move across the screen or there's nothing more advanced like that. But for something like this, like where it's a lower lift and just kind of a simple movement, I think it could be worth just, just open it, just see what it'll do for you.
I don't know, keep your eyes on my Instagram, guys. Maybe on there I'll just see what I can come up with.
What is yeah, this might be a good time in the chat to say, where can people follow along with you?
So I am Digitals by Jannah on literally everything. So I mainly post on Instagram, but you can find me on TikTok. I'm getting into it on there a little bit. And then my YouTube, which I don't know, it's a bit abandoned over there, but who knows? Maybe I'll start posting again a little bit more. Like I do have plans to. It's just like I feel like I have a million and one things to do, and
Yeah.
then it's just hard to do everything, but
Yeah.
I'm
And no,
trying.
somehow it's like halfway through the year. Like
I
where'd the time go,
know.
guys? Anyone know where it went?
It's going so quick. Like I just felt like, oh, like first quarter and blah blah blah. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm
I
running out of
know.
time. I feel like summer is like we were saying before this, like the UK just doesn't have a summer. So now it feels like I'm racing against time before things get all dark and dismal again. And then I just feel like I've got to be a recluse. Like it's just not the same energy here when it's just super dark. Like I just want to
That's
stay in and
fair.
design all day, which I love, but I do feel like I'm racing against the time at the moment.
That's fair. Yeah, you said you were saying that's raining today or has been raining?
Yeah, so
Mm.
I got the train from Manchester today and I stepped out. So this is the morning and it was like pouring with rain and I was like, right, this has just set the tone. And I was like, I'm not even gonna try get the tram. Like I'm just gonna call an Uber and then it just feels like everything's busier when it's raining and then yeah, I literally got off the train 4 hours later, still raining. So just it's yeah, it's been so dismal at the moment. But I do love the rain. It's just we have so much of it that it's like I don't need it all the time.
Yeah, that's very fair. I know where I live, we get monsoon season, which are like really crazy thunderstorms, but it's like 1 month and you just never know. They're just like blowing out of nowhere and it's crazy. But we don't
Mhm.
get like days and days of rain, just these brief moments. Okay, this is fun. What is this?
So I created this little border in Illustrator. Maybe I should have done it on screen, but again, it's one of those little perfectionist things that I do. But I basically just get the brush tool and maybe like in one point, and then I'll do like a little swirl, and then I'll expand it, and then just flip it so it's the outline. And then you can get something like this. And if you use the Pathfinder tool, it's really easy to just kind of do like these little swirls and bridge off of it. And then you just get something like this. Like it's really easy to do. And I feel like it just adds a little something else to the design. Like we have this whole core thing going on in the middle, but I didn't want to like neglect the sides too much. But then I didn't want to do like, I don't want to overcompensate. So just something nice on the border I thought would like bring it all together.
I love it. And it's fun.
So just pop it there like that. And then we could, so I added the star in the background. I'll bring that up to the front just so you guys can see. But usually how I go about that is creating a normal star and then you can obviously increase like the points and then just like pulling off the edges and things like that. Just instead of having something, like a standard star, which could work, but I feel like for this composition it's nice to see like how the unevenness blends with like the approach of like the assets that we have.
Yeah.
So I feel like it kind of fits that vibe of everything being a little bit sporadic. And then I was just toying around. I don't know for how long that was, guys, but I did notice I kept tilting it back and forth. But I feel like something like that.
Yeah, I like the contrast of like these very, traditional shapes of, the booth and the fire hydrant, and then something that is a little more hand drawn and um,
Yeah.
unique. I think that's a really fun.
And I feel like as well, we've got a lot going on in terms of like shapes and then the different graphic elements. Like some of them are realistic, some of them are more like 3D, and some of them just like vector art. So when you blend all of that together, you can just get something really cool out of it.
Yeah.
Just gonna zoom in here and add a little bit of shadow onto this pole. It's usually small things like that I don't notice until like I zoom out and then sit back for a second, and I'm like, oh, like I missed that out. But when you're like so into it, you literally miss little things like that.
The worst is when you realize that when you send it to a client and you're like, oh, by the way, that was not the final file. Real quick.
Yeah, literally today. I feel like it's because I was in such a rush with the train and things like that, but I sent a client a file and then I noticed like two things. Like I had
Ugh.
an updated icon for a logo, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like so annoying, like, I'll just fix it. And then I ended up uploading it and sending it off. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like I missed something else. And like, I'm usually not that type of person. And then it was just one of those days, and I was like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like every little tiny thing I'm noticing. And sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I wish I just didn't even realize, but I guess that's just the perfectionism in me.
I know. You're like, do I tell them or do you have to like weigh the
Just
consequence of
leave
it? And you're
it.
like,
Yeah.
sorry, it's me again. I just realized.
The
Forgot
accident
the
word.
period at the end of the sentence, you know.
Ignore my other 7 emails. This is
Yeah,
the one.
it's a day, but just want to make sure we saw it.
So, yeah, here's where we're at the moment. So now I'm thinking we add a little bit of text. So, like I said, I'm pulling from different songs. So I just like to add the lyrics. And in this case, I've kind of like pulled from like I'm very much a person where I like to round all my corners, which I don't really know why. But in this case, I thought the sharper kind of border
Yeah,
match, the star in the background. So
I see it.
I'm just gonna
And
layer
then
that here.
did you do that with offset path in Illustrator or how did you get like that really fun outline?
Yeah, so in Illustrator, I'll just type out the text and then, yeah, offset path it. And then obviously you can control whether it's rounded or not. And then I went to round it and then I was like, do you know what? I feel like I should just be a bit more adventurous. Like that probably sounds so boring to other people, but for me, it's adventurous to not round everything. And then I thought, I don't know, I feel like it looks quite cool like that.
No, I think it's great. I feel like it really was a design trend for a while where it's like everything is super round and like I mean it's the same, you know, it was skinny jeans, now it's wide leg jeans. I feel like corners are round and now we're back to square corners again.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh my God, I can't believe there was an era of like skinny jeans. Like I
I
was talking
know.
about skinny jeans to a friend today, and then I was like, I just feel like I never see people wear them anymore. Like, but they'll probably come back around in like 2 days. So same with
Yeah.
the like rounded corners. So
So maybe yeah, next year find us here, but we will be wearing skinny jeans and doing rounded corners.
yeah, yeah, I'll do an outfit of the day next time, guys. It'll be skinny jeans.
I was listening. There's this interview with Jennifer Lawrence on Amy Poehler's podcast, and she's talking
Mhm.
about that someone was like looking through her closet and they found this like pair of skinny jeans, and they were like, "Wow, these are like original skinny jeans, like from when they actually like rolled out, basically." And I was like, "Wait, that's
Original.
they're like historical." I was like, "That's crazy."
It's an artifact. I
I
literally don't
know,
even think I own any anymore, but now I'm like, I wish I did. Like, I probably had like 10 pairs. Like, it was an
right?
era, but now I don't know. Like, I can't imagine wearing a pair of skinny jeans, but it'll be like in a year. Like, I
Yeah.
probably have them on to just pretend I never said that.
I mean, didn't they say there was like, sorry, we're getting really derailed here, but they were saying that like, I feel like they disrupted this fashion industry because normally like a cut of jean really like overturned every year or two or something like that, but skinny jeans
Mhm.
really stuck around for like a decade. And the fashion industry kind of was puzzled of like, what do we do? How do we get people to stop wearing these?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like skinny jeans stayed around like forever. Like
Yeah.
even when I was growing up, like I would see other girls wearing them. I'm like, oh my God, like skinny jeans are so cool. And then it actually lasted, like when I was in like
Yeah.
secondary school, like sixth form. And then I feel like it was like the weird like mum jean era, which like everyone was wearing,
Yeah.
which I guess led to like the really wide look. And now I feel like we're still just in that
I
kind
think
of
so.
era. I don't know. I don't know the last
Safely.
time I saw someone wearing skinny jeans. So
Yeah.
shout out to those people who are still doing it.
Chat, if you're wearing skinny jeans, how are you feeling today? Are they original skinny jeans? Is the better
Yeah,
question.
original. They're like Top Shop, like Joni jeans, like the
Yeah,
OG.
yeah. That's too funny. Oh, we do have a
Uh,
comment in chat that says adding an octopus in the background would be like so crazy or maybe something. But I feel like the star kind of is addressing that. It's got like a little, you know, variety to
yeah.
it.
See, maybe I need to be like a little bit more adventurous and see
A sea
what
creature.
quirky things I could put. I guess in a way that would work because it's like it's the Earth, it's the globe,
Most things
anything
are on
could come
it.
out of it. Yeah.
The
So
globe is your oyster, or yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. Also, we have another comment in chat that says, so cool. Could not agree more. Very cool stuff happening here.
Thank you. So one thing I've been loving doing at the moment is using pattern overlay, and I don't know where I've been and why I haven't really been using it that much, but obviously you can add your own patterns. So for this, I wanted to pull like the tartan kind of references
Love.
from the video. So then I can just like play with scale and things like that. And then you just get a really cool like tartan star, and
Fun.
it didn't take me long at all. And then I have different things like glittery things. I could use that in my other poster. Um, but yeah, you can just like play around with a lot of cool patterns and then end up applying them to things you probably wouldn't even have thought of. So yeah, that's just one thing that I've been exploring a little bit more at the moment.
Are those preloaded in Photoshop or did you add those in yourself?
I added the tartan one in myself, but
Okay.
Photoshop does have like a bunch in there that are
Oh,
really cool.
the glitter one is very fun. I love a little glitter collage moment.
You can't go wrong with glitter, like
You really
real life
can't.
and in your work. I mean, it's a bit annoying, but at least digitally,
Just
it doesn't get everywhere.
yeah, yeah. Digitally safer than, the real version.
Yeah. So let's just add some of those around. There you go. And then yeah, like to just rasterize the layer. And then, so it's kind of like I like to build that core and then I like to just pull kind of inspiration from what I've come up with. Like with a lot of things, I'll have a core idea in my mind, but after that, I kind of just like to run freely with it and see what I can come up with. And usually it's like things I probably wouldn't have considered if I'd been really like regimented about it. And then you can come up with something cool. Like in this, like when I uploaded the pattern, I had like a few kind of patterns joint together. So in this style, as you can see, like I have two tartan patterns like joint together, which I think looks really cool. And it was really easy to do. And then just add a few more. And then I'll just shift that pattern to how I like it.
It's such an interesting tool. I don't think I've ever opened that panel before.
You see, yeah, I hadn't, and then now I haven't left it alone. So it's just kind of like one of those
Now you
things.
can't stop me.
Now I'm like, God, like where can I put a pattern? Like probably doesn't need it, but I'm gonna put one there.
But I need to just a little something.
Yeah.
So fun. Wait, is this the same lyric from like the Let It All Go? Does that go to the top lyric or are these two separate ones?
Oh no, they go together.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool.
And then we'll add my little tag down below. That's something like I always would forget to do. And then
Mm,
I saw Jack Faulkner like always like tagging his stuff. Like I always watch his streams, and then I
yeah,
was like, see, that is something I should be doing. And he always like I feel like everyone probably does this. It's just I don't. He always has like the same logo. So I was like, see, like now if I just have something in my libraries and I can smack it on, it's
smart.
done. Yeah. So now I'm like I remember to put it on there. But yeah, this is what we've got so far. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like it's really dynamic and like I said, I really just like being able to have a play around with things outside of like client work. Or like because I do branding, I was doing a lot of like branding passion projects, but then everything was just like so branding coded. So then I was like, I'm gonna take this idea that I've had for ages and then just do like posters. So it's kind of like one little playground where I'm just focused on one artboard and I'm just kind of having a lot of fun with it. Um, and yeah, I've just been loving so far how it's been coming out and all of the new things I've learned just from playing around with it myself. Like I've not really looked at any tutorials or anything like that. I've just come up with things I like myself, and then I'm like finally learning more with Photoshop. And I don't know, I'm not so much in my ways anymore because one of the things I do end up doing is just like I said earlier, when I learn a way to do one thing, like that's it. Like I don't have time to learn like new methods, but I feel like now this is making me pick up some new skills and exploring some new tools. And I can go back and put that in my branding projects. And yeah, I feel like that'd be a great way for you guys to kind of combat any creative burnout as well, which I get like pretty easily at the moment because I'm so busy. But when you can like come back to things like this, you kind of just remember like how fun it is to design and
Mm.
all of the fun things you can do with it. Like I said, that's when you get to teach yourself all of those fun things.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I finding time to do your own personal work really can be a growing moment for, yourself and just a place to explore, which I think is so overlooked but very necessary.
Yeah.
What are we doing now? I see we're placing some color rectangles.
Yeah, so I didn't have a base layer, so I added that, and now I'm gonna add some grain. I am one of those designers where like I just feel like everything looks better with a bit of noise and a bit of grain, so let's do that. Um, so I usually just do something like I'm not too picky with what I do. And then I'll just go on the what is this panel called?
Um, Transparency?
Transparency?
That
It's
doesn't seem right.
transparency, right?
I think so. I'm gonna open mine.
But why are we both like, is it? It's
Well,
because you're
because
like
go ahead,
so
sorry.
used to using the tools, and it's not like you're, checking what everything's called. Like I just know it's there. But I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
actually,
it's transparency, right?
or yeah, it's gotta be. I feel like because in Illustrator it lives in the effects panel, or not the effects panel.
Yeah, it's different
It's a
though.
different
Or
name, and so I feel like it trips up
yeah, yeah.
designers. They're like, it's in this panel.
So when I'm like bouncing between the two, like I'm looking for it, and then I'm just always going about it wrong because
Right.
I'm going so fast, and I'm like, where is it in here? But I feel like it is transparency right though in this.
In Illustrator, I'm looking right now. It is in the transparency panel in Illustrator. I don't know. I'd assume it's a transparency panel here.
But I'm
Chat.
like,
Because if you
yeah, does
hover, it doesn't give
anyone
you an
know?
answer.
Someone's probably screaming it. Like,
We're like,
just
please.
scream, guys.
It's
I
under
see.
your layers panel, but it's like, yeah, a layer adjustment. I don't know.
Is it in layers in here? I just feel like it's transparency, but now I'm thinking, wait, but you said it's not that in Illustrator,
No, it
right?
is. It is transparency in Illustrator.
Oh, it is. So what
Yeah.
is
Is
it
it?
here? Okay, that's what I think I'm thinking of, Illustrator. But now in here, I guess because I'm accessing it from my layers panel, and it doesn't have like a
Is it just in
name.
Windows? Yeah, it
It's
is
just
just.
there.
Huh. All right. I need an answer. Someone, someone tell us what's going on here.
I know someone's like, it's so simple.
They're like, it's
Like,
a layer style. Calm down. Let's see. No answers from chat so far.
guys, help us out. It's gonna
Guys,
bug me
help.
now. I'll remember after this, but anyway, I'll use that tool and then kind of go through the different blends as you see me doing for like 10 hours. But I usually like soft light. It's like my go-to. It just gives that vibe I want. And then obviously at 100% it's like super grainy and harsh. So I just drop the opacity a little bit. And then I also find like say with example with our person in the middle, the texture was a little bit grainy. So when you add an overlay, it kind of makes it feel a little bit more intentional. So everything has the same texture. I feel like that looks cool.
Sorry, I was distracted looking at the Photoshop panel, determined to find a name. It's not
Have you
happening.
found it? No, that is so weird. I feel like maybe we're overthinking this.
Probably because
I'm
that's
trying to see if
that's
it's
layer adjustment panel, right? Like I know that.
yeah, but surely like why does it have a name in Illustrator and not in here? Or maybe it does and we just
Yeah, it's
don't
I
know.
don't know. Designers are their own understanding of programs, I feel like.
Right, I'm gonna group all of this together and then we can add that, I guess. And for the sake of this, I'm going to merge the group. Usually I
Okay.
wouldn't do this because I know I would just see something that I'm like, oh no, like I need
Yeah.
to go back. Um, but then like I said, like I'm just gonna tweak the saturations and things like that. Um, and one thing I really love doing is just kind of playing around with the hue because you kind of just end up finding different, color palettes that you wouldn't have explored. So with my Zara Larson one, I'll show you guys on my Instagram quickly. Like this was the main poster, and then I wanted to like I did a reel first, and then I wanted to show like the still on my Instagram. But then I thought, oh, like I don't just want to post one on its own, and then I started playing around with the hues, and then I
Oh,
literally just slid it to the side, and then I came up with this, which was obviously really really easy, but it
yeah.
just gives it like a different vibe, and it's like a alternate version, which I thought was really cool.
It's like the sunrise version was, or like maybe this is sunrise and the other one's sunset, or vice versa. Like I think it's a different
Oh
time of
yeah,
day, but still equally
yeah,
magical
different
and
timings, yeah.
tropical. Oh my God, so fun. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like little things like that. Even when you come to the end, it's probably not the end. Like there's a million things you could
Yeah.
do, but Yeah, I'm just gonna push that a little bit more, and then probably not gonna change the hue, but let's just see in here how things are looking. But I'm saying, like, I probably wouldn't jump to a palette
Oh,
like this, but then you
yeah.
can get some really cool like tones and combinations and just different variations that you probably wouldn't have considered.
Yeah.
So it's always like worth having a little look. Um, but yeah, I feel like that looks pretty good. I don't know. What do you think, Emily?
I think it looks fabulous. I know. So we have about 10 minutes left, so I'm not sure where we'd want to take this to. Maybe, do you want to swap out? I know you just flattened your layers, though.
We can go
Sorry.
back.
I was gonna say we could swap out maybe the subject and explore like what that other option would look like, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you have any
do
other
that.
plans for your final 10 minutes here?
Right, let's hide. Yeah, let's see how we can adapt this to the other subject. So I'm gonna hide any of like the
Smart.
shadows just so it doesn't look. Is that all of them? Right, there's one there. See, now this is the problem where I'm like, I don't know what layer that is on.
I haven't
Um,
tried layer cleanup yet. Have you tried layer cleanup yet?
no, I haven't. I think this is the perfect time to, you know, learn that. But again, it's just me being in my ways. But let's see what we can do with this one. Obviously, if you guys missed it at the beginning, we were going between the two. And because I didn't know, I put it on Emily, and Emily didn't really, well,
I
to be fair,
didn't know either. No, I like both.
you ended up picking though.
I did.
So we went obviously with the other one, but let's see how easy it is for us to kind of switch this one in. So I feel like the vibe's a little bit different with this one. Like obviously the other one felt more like sat over it,
Yeah.
where it was like a bit more perched. But again, maybe if we can play around with the shadows, and then we could even have a look at the harmonize tool and see
I was
what it
thinking
can
that.
kind of pick up from it. So let's see if I can do a little bit of like manual like shadowing. And then harmonize will probably upstage me in like 2 seconds. So like actually this is how it's done.
You know, the results from Harmonize are pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm always like, see, I should have just done that at the beginning.
I feel like, yeah, retouching to that level of, getting the lighting correct and all of that, I mean, it really is. You have to be so insane at your craft, I feel like. And so I
Yeah,
have not dedicated as much time to learning that. I can do the basic edits, but Harmonize really takes it to next level when I use it.
exactly. And it's like, even though like I want to play with the harmonize tool and sometimes I'll like use what it comes up with, it's sometimes fun to just see like what you can,
Yeah.
play around with. And sometimes you can use both things in combination with each other. Um, and it can kind of just turn out pretty cool. And then you've got like your own touch in there as well. So again, just using that same brush that I had used before.
I do like that with this pose, we're getting a little bit more of the booth or the telephone booth. I think that's kind of fun. And we're seeing a little bit
Yeah.
more elements. I don't know, both are great, but I do like this.
It's kind of like it's opened up the composition a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh no, maybe we should have started with
Oh
that one.
no.
That
And
does
I
good.
really do like the polka dot. The polka dot texture I think is really a fun add to it too, to give like a really dense pattern or dense-ish, I guess.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we've got the tartan as well. So it's like tartan, polka dot, and then just like little things like this. So
Yeah.
I guess it's just what you prefer. But I do feel like this has opened up the composition a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit of variation.
Yeah.
So let me hide that one for now. So that's kind of my poor job of the shadow. But if we press harmonize, let's just see what happens.
Just dip our toe into the harmonized world here.
And it doesn't take long either, so
Might as well give it a go. And I do like that it gives you multiple options too. I feel like that, I don't know.
yeah.
Sometimes taking something the first time it goes around, you're like, was that the right option? So I do appreciate the
Hmm.
variations.
But then sometimes I'm like clicking through and then I'm like, oh, like I don't know which one
Yeah.
to choose.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't just focus on the subject, like it'll pull from the background and like the
Yeah.
glow, like it'll pull everything together. So we have that one, and then this one's a bit more like on the subject, which I guess that makes the red pop a little bit more. And then that one kind of just brightens things back up again. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
I
think,
quite like this end one. I
yeah,
feel
I
like that,
think third time's the charm. I think that one's it.
yeah. So I'm saying it's fun to like go through all of them and then you can obviously expand upon that and do some more variations. But little things like that where it's like I've done the shadow work, but I feel like it could just come together a little bit more like cleaner. And especially for time's sake wise, it's good to just have like that one button that will help you. Um,
Okay, I'm wondering, you tell me, what if
mhm.
we try changing the color of the sky to be a little bit more warm tone? Just to like explore something for color options.
Yeah, let's see. So see if we could take it into hue first. What are you thinking? Cooler, warmer?
I was thinking warm. I think I just like the Zara Larson, the orange creamsicle kind of. Yeah, okay, fun. Or even maybe like we do a duotone gradient mapped kind of thing. Could be interesting, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying things
See,
at this point.
but then it's like even though that was a good point because now we've like kind of gone to that red and it gives a different tone to it. Like it feels a bit more, I don't know, it feels a bit more darker rather
Yeah,
than the light, fun, earthy. And I feel like with the subject, like she's got kind of that cooler, like edgy tone going on.
right.
So maybe that fits that vibe better. So it's like even though we've switched out the main subject, we're kind of getting more from it, but then the other version still exists. So it's like we've been able to pull like different things from it.
We do have a comment in chat. Jack says, I love Harmonize since I have no idea what I'm doing. LOL. Real. Designers in Photoshop are saying thank you for Harmonize.
Yeah. I feel like we're all collectively agreeing, like we just don't know what we're doing. So let me
Yeah.
just click.
And then we have Cody Bear saying, this is looking awesome. Agreed. Cody, thanks
Thank
for tuning
you.
in. Ooh, wait,
I
I
don't
kind
know,
of, yeah,
around
that's
here.
fun. It really pops.
Because I feel like what we had before was more like around here, which is like light. But I feel like
Yeah,
now we've changed the subject, like I said, kind of pushing it darker, I feel like brings a nice vibe.
which is kind of what you were saying, right? You were saying like I've been really into like saturating my work and really trying to push it as far as I can go. So I kind of feel like
Yeah,
case in
because
point.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's usually things that I wouldn't consider either, or like net like isn't my go-to. Like if you look on my Instagram, I'll quickly put it up for you guys. It's very like curated and pink, and I don't know. I just can't seem to escape pink for some reason, and I don't think I'm not. I don't even mind it to be honest,
I don't
but
think you should. It's great.
it's just like very me, very pink. So then when I get to do fun things, like these posters, they're just like a little bit different from my usual like color palette or approach. But then I feel like it's still like distinct to my style. Um, and it's like now with this new series and people are really enjoying it. Now they're like asking for more and they're like excited to see like where I go with it. So it's kind of like a new styles coming out of my page, which is cool.
That's so cool. Well, we are in our like final-ish minutes here, so if you want to give us a walkthrough whenever you're ready of like, hey, I started in Express and this is where we went to Photoshop and kind
Yeah.
of give us a rundown as we recap the stream.
Right, let's go back to Express. So I was raving at the beginning about how Express is basically going to save your life in terms of stock and literally time saving. So instead of scrolling through all of those different websites and jumping from A to B and then not even be able to find the thing you were looking for an hour ago, you can just head straight to the stock in Express. So we searched up some really cool things like telephone boxes, and then we were loving like all of the circle elements that came up. Like I pulled the globe from the elements panel, and there's like so many different variations. So we kind of went through those. And then even like things like the backgrounds, like the sky, we took from that as well. So it's not just like the little elements and the assets, it's also the backgrounds. And then I'll figure out all of the ones that I want and I'll take those into either Illustrator or Photoshop. It depends what I'm working in. And I'll add them all to my libraries. And I find that it's a lot simpler to do it that way rather than jumping back and forth. Although that's like really easy, like Express makes it easy, and obviously on the side you have your stuff. So my libraries are all linked here as well, which is super helpful. It just means that I can kind of, jump into the design process once I'm ready. But it's always good that I can come back in here and kind of see everything that I've got and see if I'm missing anything. But yeah, one of my favorite things about the Creative Cloud software is just how everything's linked and everything lives in one place. All my projects are there, all my elements. And as I build, like sometimes I like to add the core design back into my libraries and then say I come back to it, I can kind of see where I left off, what else I want to add, no matter where I am in the Creative Cloud, which is really cool. So yeah, we pulled all of the elements from Express and then we jumped into Photoshop and we built from the sky upwards. So I always like to start with kind of, the centerpiece. So we had the sky and the globe, and that kind of grounds the color palette as well. So I had the blues in there, and then I decided I really like the reds from the music video. And then it was building everything kind of like from the outwards inwards, which I don't think I even meant to do, but I find it easier to process that way. And then as I go along, I can like tweak little things. But we had the houses and we started with like a full image. I can pull that up for you guys. So this is what we were originally working with. And it's things like just cutting things out. It didn't have to be perfect. Like just going in with like the lasso tool and cutting around things and then placing that back in. And then we had some fun with like the saturation, really bringing up those levels to kind of have that pop art feel. Obviously, with the whole composition, it feels like a little bit different. We've got the globe, it's like 3D. It's like it feels like almost like something's a little bit off with everything that's going on. So just pulling out those colors helps everything feel like really vibrant and in the same theming. So yeah, one of the main things we focused on was the whole saturation part of things. And then like I said, we have the libraries panel here. So I was pulling all of those things from Express and dropping them in and then removing backgrounds where I needed to and some of the fuller images. But with Express, it's handy because you can remove the backgrounds there. So then when you come into Photoshop, like it's already done. You can just have so much fun with designing. So we added the things like the telephone box, really getting that British vibe going. We had the bus stop, we had the fire hydrant, and my main thing is that I really wanted to combine, the more photographic elements with like vector designs and like more flat things. So I tried to go for with these elements, like kind of different angles, like the telephone box is at an angle. And it's just things like that when it finally comes together. Like we've got a big 3D circle, we've got something off to the left a little bit, we have things peeking out from behind, with the shadowing and things like that. It all just comes together to make it look really dynamic and just, I don't know, I just like to have a lot of fun with it and see where it can go. And then, like I said, we'll ground things with, like the vector art. So we added some stars in there. We explored using the pattern overlay tool, which is something I've been loving recently, and seeing what we can come up with that. So we had like the tartan pattern that I put into Photoshop, and then whatever shape you can make, you can literally just put the pattern overlay and you can come up with it and have some fun with tweaking the scale and things like that. And then we put in some like little fun like border elements, which is literally just made with, following around with your brush tool and choosing a color. It's really simple, but it's something that brings everything together and kind of encompasses the whole design. And then we have just some lyrics from the song, and we added some offset path around that. And I went for like the sharper corners just because we've come up with like these sharp stars and the shapes. So everything kind of has its own style. Like this has tartan on it. This is like more vibrant and red. That has a lot of windows and architecture. But for some reason, it all comes together. And then, yeah, I just like adding my grain over the top to bring everything together. So that was a fast-ish rundown of everything that we did. But I had a lot of fun creating it. Um, and yeah, that's kind of like a rundown of how I've been working on my Songs I Visualize series. And yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where else I can take that with the whole circle motif that I have in the middle.
Yeah, no, this was so cool to see the behind the scenes. I'm a huge fan of your work and seeing it online. So I will be locked in and ready to see where you're going to take this next. But thank you so much for taking the time to show us your process and walk us through everything in chat. Thank you as always for being along for the ride. We always appreciate you being here. So stick around. Magdale Lopez will be on in about an hour with his show On the Spot. So always really cool, fun things to learn there. But as always, yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in and we'll be back soon.
Bye.